The library, that's right, the library. It's filled with books, lovely books, wonderful books, such as this purple one here. Ooh, look at that, it's a purple book and it has something on it, mysterious, I don't know. What did all these books mean? What is the text on these books? I really want to know. I want to know what this says, how to read it. Well, if you want to read this book, I have just the video for you because I went through and wrote most of these books. Well, maybe not most of them, but I went through and wrote a handful of these books, at least the opened page that we can see. So a friend of mine made this mock-up here. It has all of the books on it all together. 3173 made this for me, and they were like, I don't know what you could use this for, but maybe you can use it for something. So I went through and I wrote a handful of these. So let's start with this first one up here in the top left, because the first one in the top left is this: Herbology, a guide. Vitis, also known as grapevines. Vitis is widely used for food and for wines. These plants are usually wind-pollinated with this word, flowers. That's right, I got that information from Wikipedia. You're very much welcome. As well as this next one. I also got this from Wikipedia. A tropical shrub with slender leaves, very useful for traditional medicines. You may also find excellent essential oils in the leaves. So that was like like a base thing, because this seemed like more of an informative book, more of like a guide or something like that. So I figured maybe that's what that would be. I went ahead and skipped the next two because they didn't seem to have anything specific or special about them. I mean, I might go back and write these as well as a few other ones, but here's the next one I wrote. I wrote on this one. This one is Magic Chem. In this chapter, we will learn about alchemy and the science of magic. Magic stems from a universal force which only a few can abuse for their needs, and even fewer can master said force. Magic can be found in many things, such as in this example image. I put that in there because there's like clearly some kind of image here as well as an image here, which I reference later as well. But anyway, back to it. Magic can be found in many things, such as in this example image. The unicorn is channeling magic from a tree to levitate an apple. This is done partially in instinct, but also through technique. Little is known how the magic is transferred from source to pony, but the horn is vital for this. Without a horn, ponies have very little chance to interact with magic. However, there are some alternative ways to interact with magic. Chemistry and alchemy allow for any pony and creature, anything, to interact with the fundamental force of magic. In the image below, you can see a regular everyday pony with no horn mixing ingredients, language, and knowledge together to allow a temporary manipulation of magic in their surroundings. And I figured that's a pretty good place to stop for all this, because there's like an image below that or whatever, and maybe that's what it's referencing or something. So that's where I stopped on that one. And then this one here, it's got an image of what looks like flowers of some kind, and then a bit of text, and then flowers of some kind, maybe a bit of text, and then this other field of flowers, it looks like, and then some text. So what I wrote for this one was flora of fauna, and then I was like tulip, because that's the image. A spring blooming perennial that's right, that's a word. Apple tree, which is I'm assuming is this the image, because honestly this image, some of the images are like impossible to decipher. Like I have no idea what this image is supposed to be. I want to assume it's a tree of some kind because it's like a bit of brown with a green pixel on top. So I figured maybe it's a tree of some kind, so I just went ahead with that. This one here definitely seems to be a tulip. That's why I chose tulip for that. But anyway, back to this. Apple trees are cultivated worldwide is what I said for that. And the last one, I definitely had no idea what that image was. I just assumed maybe it was like a flower field or something like that. And so I was just like, okay, it's a meadow of many flowers. A poppy, a daffodil, a dandelion, because those are like some of the colors of the flowers, or some of the colors of these pixels that are here. Like the yellow ones are definitely the daffodils or whatever, or I mean the dandelions. So yeah, I guess. And then this next one is one of my favorites because it's a little bit goofy and stuff like that. It's a picture of what looks like a moon with some text over it, and then just a basic text right there. So what I wrote for this one was moon, cheese, fake, or real and stone? The moon has had many mysteries, conspiracies, and legends surrounding it. By the way, that's the title, obviously. Some believe ponies inhabit the moon, some believe the moon is not even real, and others believe it is where cheese comes from. The truth of the matter is that the moon is made of the same stuff the very ground you walk on is made of. But for the sake of your curiosity, what else do ponies believe about the moon? Some believe the moon was created by a powerful unicorn who abandoned the world when they were rejected by their kingdom. In spite, they created their own kingdom on the moon and kidnapped ponies to live there and be part of her army. They say that ponies who go missing and are never found were victims of this bitter unicorn, and that one day they will return to this world in an epic fight against us all. The myth of cheese coming from the moon originated in the early 1700s when ponies began to connect the yellowy glow of the moon to the yellow of their cheese. The fact it was not always yellow helped fuel their harebrained conspiracy even further. So I thought that could be like a fun little book about like the history of like the moon and conspiracies and things like that surrounding it. So like obviously the cheese, the moon is cheese or whatever like that. I thought that could be a fun one. This next one is also a little bit fun. It's the weird purple book with like what looks like trees, I guess, on it. Maybe they're meant to be ponies. I don't know. But they're meant to be something. I just assume they're meant to be trees. So I decided to write this one. I called it Meadows of the Mystica. There exists a land far away that ponies claim is filled with mystical energy. Mere moments in this mystical land is enough to change your form forever. Some reporters claim that their hair and tail grew twice its size. Some claim to have found a new love for dancing. Other claims range from luscious and lively beaches filled with treasure to mushroom forest and abandoned ice cream stands stocked full of free ice cream. While these reports are outrageous, ponies cannot deny the eyewitness testimonies. One testimony begins with a pony washing up on the beach with a huge hair and strange markings. They struggled to speak at first, but once they came to, they shared the story of the Meadow of Mystica to everyone. They offered a few treasures from the land, which now reside in the Mystica Museum of Investigations. The museum is filled with supposed artifacts and testimonies of ponies who claim to have visited this special place. In the following chapters, we will take a look at each artifact and testimony in the museum and discuss the history of the Meadow of Mystica. That one was a lot of fun as well to write. I think it kind of matches the vibe a little bit. And then I skipped the next two, and I worked on this one right here, which is like a ghost, which is what it looks like. It looks like a ghost with some images here in the book as well. This was another problem I kind of had with doing this, is that some of the books have the exact same sprite. So like this one right here, the chemistry one, it has this same exact sprite as this ghost one. So it's like those have to be the same images, right? So we're just gonna have to pretend for the sake of this that they're not the same image, because that doesn't make any sense anyway. Why would they be the same image? Anyway, this one I decided to call Ghost and Why They Are Scared of Us. Looking further into the graveyards, one has to wonder if something else is not looking back. Many pictures and videos have come forth claiming to depict ghosts. In this image, you can clearly see the outline of a pony that is screaming. Coincidentally, this was the first image I saw. My theory was quick to take shape. Upon discovering many more images similar to this one, I theorized that ghosts are scared. Perhaps not of us, but of something. My mind raced with possibilities. Were they afraid of something only they could see? Were they afraid of a specific color? Maybe of the darkness? Was their fears even something we could comprehend? I made it my life's goal to uncovering the truth of these ghosts and all things paranormal. In my years, I proved the existence of ghosts by staking out a supposedly haunted graveyard for 2 weeks straight. An astounding 42 encounters were recorded. That's where that one would end, and in my head, it would just start listing off like the encounters, like the pictures and stuff like that, and that's what this first picture is here on this bottom right of that book. So next, I decided to skip the music one and the bunny one, and most of these, honestly, I pretty much skipped all of them and went straight to this one right here, because this book is a little bit more interesting to me, in my opinion, too, because if we actually go back to Ponytown, there's pretty much only one place you can find this book, and that is way over here. I may be wrong. There may be more places, but it's kind of just up here. It's almost like it's hidden away, like stashed away or something. So I thought it could be a pretty important book or something kind of more valuable or something. Because yeah, looking around this library, I don't really see that copy pretty much anywhere else. I'm sure you could probably just click on the bookshelf and it would give it to you eventually. And there might be some stacked underneath some of these other ones or something, but it seems to be the only one. So it seems to have a little bit of significance to it. I don't know if that was intentional by the developers, putting basically one copy of the book down in here or what, but I thought it could be interesting because I thought it could add some more lore to Ponytown. So I went ahead and went to that book, and I thought, yeah, this one needs to be more important and interesting. So I decided to call this one the Journal of One. This, in my opinion, would be like a little journal of a specific character that was cataloging things or whatever. So it starts with, my most recent travels brought me somewhere magical and terrifying. I guess you could call it magifying. Scratch that, and they scratched it out or whatever. The place in question was a cave. I thought it was easy to explore, but going deeper proved quite difficult. Somehow, I squeezed through the tiniest crevice and came out into a large open area with pools of water and crystals growing inside of them. I collected a few of the crystals and to bring back with me. I want to get to more, so I am going to establish a mining operation. Hopefully with the help of more ponies, we can open this cave up and find more of these crystals. Once I show them what the crystals can do, I am sure they'll agree. I was able to get the help of some ponies, but they seemed changed by the crystals. I decided to lead them to a different location to mine. If they find some, then so be it. But I think I am going to keep the true location of these crystals secret. Not from everyone, though. I have 3 trustworthy friends who will be helping me start this mine. We're planting trees in front of it to hide the mines. We'll also be boarding up the mine with danger signs and 2x4s to help deter any pony who happens to find it. It's been a long ride. The mines are finished. We set up a camp inside, and we've been living here on and off for weeks. We've learned a lot about these crystals, including just why it might have changed those ponies. The crystals have transfiguration properties. We accidentally tossed a crystal on our cart of lanterns and it became a new lantern. We were all amazed and began experimenting with what else the crystals could transform. That's when we learned it's a permanent effect. I think my friends are still mad at me for using it on her leg. I don't know what made me try it. Maybe I thought it would make them faster or stronger or just better. I've sworn off touching any of the other crystals, and the others have held me to it. I don't want to take any more chances though, so I'm leaving the mines and continuing my expedition southward. And that was the last one that I did. So this one obviously has more lore implications than in any other of the books or whatever like that. Let me know in the comments below if you can kind of guess what everything is referencing and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to say about this other than if you guys want me to go through and write some of these other ones, let me know in the comments below because there's still a ton of these books left. One more thing I should mention, I guess, is this book right here. 3173 also pointed this out, and I kind of agree with it, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty much just a place where you like press flowers, and that's pretty much it. Like you collect flowers and plants and stuff like that, and you book press them or whatever like that. That seems to be what this is, because it's literally just pictures of flowers, and there's not even any text or anything like that. That's literally just dirt that it's sitting on. So like, I don't know, or roots, I mean. So maybe that's the case. I'm really not sure. So regardless of what happens, I'm probably just going to skip this one and just assume that that's what that is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these books. Let me know in the comments below, again, if you want to see any more of this, and be sure to like, subscribe, share, and do all those wonderful things like that. Because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.